We're going to finish up the first half of the session today with campaign structures and ad types. This is going to give you an idea of kind of the basic elements. Our second half of the presentation is going to address different types of campaigns, different ways of targeting them, but we're going to really just touch on the basic campaign structure and the basic ad campaign types in this section. So, at the account level, you can have it's kind of your overarching organizational unit. Everything falls within your account. You can have more than one advertiser account on any individual website, as long as it's going to different pages of the website. I can't have 5 different AdWords accounts all targeting the same page. Google doesn't like that, but they don't mind if you have an account for Cleveland and an account for Cincinnati targeting different sections of the same website. At the account level, you set things like the login email and password, your billing information, your currency. So if you're buying ads in US dollars, you will set it up in US dollars. If you're buying ads in rubles or lira or euros, this is where you set it up. Once you've set it up, that currency is written in stone. You can never change it. And that can be fun if you start to run ads outside the country. So one of our clients started to run some ads in Canada, and we were going through hoops, having to rejigger the math to reflect the exchange rate with the Canadian dollar. And finally, we just created a new account that was just in Canadian dollars. And then same client started running ads in England and South Asia, et cetera, et cetera. So it made things a lot more fun, but it was always going to be in this one currency, the US. Also, this is where you set up the time zone of the ad. So if I'm based in California, I'm running ads all over the world, I set up my time zone for California, and as I'm creating campaigns that I may want to run in Europe, I need to say, okay, if it's 8:30 a.m. in Europe, what time is it in California? And that's the time I want the campaign to run. It's going to be based on California time, even if the ads are being served in Europe. Okay? So that's all set at the campaign level, or the account level. Your campaigns. Google starts you off with 25 campaigns per account. You can get more pretty easily, up to about 100, but they start you off with 25. And at the campaign level, you can set up a lot of your targeting, your daily budgets, your locations you're targeting, languages, different ad networks, devices, mobile phones, tablets, desktops, your ad extensions we'll talk about in the next session, your start dates, your end dates, and some advanced targeting as well. Underneath each campaign, you'll have one or more ad groups. Now, your ad group is kind of your biggest, or your base unit of keywords and ads and bids together. So each campaign has one or more ad groups, and each ad group is going to be a number of ads and a number of keywords that will be associated with those ads, and a default bid. Okay? You can set up targeting at the ad group level as well. It's not just at the campaign level. You can set up some scheduling at the ad group level. And the ad group's a really good organizational unit to focus on. It gets you a little bit of a 5,000-foot view, but it still allows you to be kind of detail-oriented. Within each ad group, you have, like I said, the keywords, the ads, and the bids. You can have one destination URL, one domain URL per ad group. So your display URL, if it's bestbusinesssoftware.com in the ad group, you need to have that same display URL for all ads in that ad group. Another ad group within the same campaign can go to another website. But within the ad group, you can only target one domain. That's kind of the top level. We're going to really dig down into some of the elements here. This covers a lot of what I just said in English instead of a pretty picture. Okay, now, there are different types of campaigns. We've talked about the display campaigns, we've talked about the search campaigns. Google also has some hybrid campaigns. They have shopping campaigns, they have remarketing, and I'm going to hit on some of these right now. So campaigns are great in that they'll allow you to do a lot of targeting at the campaign level. And the more you target your ads, the more effective they're going to be. Campaign level is one of the best places to start this process. Campaigns are also your major unit of control with daily budgets and monthly budgets. So when you set up a campaign, you tell Google, I want to spend $25 per day on this campaign. And Google's going to say, oh, okay, over the course of 30 days, the average needs to be $25 per day. It could be $26 on Monday, it could be $23 on Tuesday, but it needs to average out at 25 over 30 months or 30 days. So keep that in mind. This is also the level where you tell Google how you want the ad served. Do you want to spend all your money immediately, or do you want to spread it out over the course of the day? All right, the basic campaigns on Google, and for Yahoo Bing, they're almost one-to-one mapping of this. So you have your search network and your search network with Google partners. So those are going to be traditional PPC ads that appear on Google and Google search partners. So Google is going to just be Google search. Google search partners could be something like AOL or Earthlink or Ask. Partners are business.com, get some information from Google. So Google search or Google search and partners. Now, one thing when you're trafficking ads to the partner networks, your reach really expands. The quality of the places your ads are going falls down a little. So Google only looks at your quality score development off their own search network. If you're running campaigns on Google and Google search partners, the performance you have off Google sites on other search sites won't impact your quality score. Display network and display select network. So the display network is all those ads that are running on the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and the Blogger that Google will allow you to traffic. The display select network is a subset of that. It tries to hit the best ones. Shopping campaigns are campaigns, and we're going to hit shopping campaigns in detail, but second half. But shopping campaigns are based off of not just written ads, but you actually create a spreadsheet and you upload it to Google, and that spreadsheet has all kinds of intense information in it. Just the landing page, a full description, in-stock status, cost of shipping, cost, manufacturer, UPC code, EIN codes, colors, genders, materials, all kinds of stuff. The shopping feed is 70 different fields you can fill in. And when you use the shopping feed, it'll be those little individual square ads that appear on shopping, what Google thinks are shopping specific searches. So if I search for motorcycle helmets, I'm going to see between 3 and 6 little pictures of motorcycle helmets. It'll say helmet name, price, and retailer. So Showy Diablo helmet, $199, motorcycle superstore. Then it has a little picture of the Showy helmet, and that's it. Shopping campaigns also fuel Google shopping search, which is that kind of separate section of the Google website. Remarketing campaigns. Those are the campaigns that are based upon people coming to your website and serving ads based on how they interacted with your website initially. So the first thing to get somebody a remarketing ad is they've had to have come to your website at least once. Now, when somebody comes to your website once, that means there's a whole much more likely chance they're going to actually convert because they've already been there once. So you follow them around the internet and you serve ads based on what they did on your website. You can control the number of ads that get served. You can control the time the ads are served over, or you can just let it run rampant. Generally, you want to limit it, because if you have an ad follow somebody around for 6 months, 2 years, 6 years, it tends to make people either irritated or a little uncomfortable with the whole stalker ad. You can also do some remarketing campaigns that are just basic campaigns on search that are based on how they interacted with your website. This is new, and this is really, really cool. So somebody comes to your website, and then they perform another search on Google, and you can serve an ad up to them within the Google search results based on what they did on your website. Then you have engagement campaigns and mobile app campaigns, and we're going to touch on those briefly. So, some more details. Search network campaigns, text ads only. These are going to be your most effective from an ROI standpoint. The great thing is you already have an engaged user who's looking for information. And that's where these ads are really great. Easier to get a much tighter correlation between the searcher and the ads. Here are some of the Google search properties these can appear on. Google search, shopping, Google Maps, images, groups, and then non-search sites, Google search sites like AOL, Earthlink. It expands your reach, but it tends to depress your click-through. Display network, we touched on this. Google says it reaches 90% of internet users. Lots of different types of ads available. You can appear on up to 1 million different sites. And with the display network and the display select network, Google wants to have your ad appear next to relevant content. So if I'm selling luggage, Google wants my ad to appear on the travel section of the New York Times. If I'm selling security software, Google wants my ad to appear in the personal text section of the Wall Street Journal. The idea behind the display network and the display select network is Google getting your relevant ads to appear next to content that is similar to it. And this is a little different from your traditional banner and box buy in that you have better targeting. With the display network, you can target by demographic, psychographic, as well as just the type of network it's on. So really strong targeting there. You will also appear on sites like Google, Google Finance, Blogger, within video streams. Now, there are two different ways to approach the display network. It can be a cost per click, which is very similar to the PPC campaigns we were doing with Google Search, or it can be a cost per thousand. I like cost per click because it allows me to compare apples to apples. As I said, demographic, topic, psychographic targeting. You can target individual sites. Google will automatically select a bunch of your sites, and then you can manually add and subtract from that list. They're really good for increasing brand awareness and exposure. They're not as great as a direct response medium, but they do have some, you can still make some pretty good return on them if you manage them properly. Now, the display select network. This is a hybrid of the search network and a display network. Google's trying to give you the most reach with some good targeting and some functionality. This is, when you create a new campaign, this is your default, okay? I don't like that it's the default. I think it's not a good experience for the advertiser, because if you have an ad in front of somebody who's searching for something versus an ad that wants to interrupt them and draw their attention from an article to your ad, you're going to write those ads differently. So I don't like that this is the default. Also, your performance tends to get artificially depressed by the display impressions. You're not being dinged on quality score, but you'll see a click-through rate that's abysmal, and then you back out the display impressions, and all of a sudden your click-through rate is something approaching what it should be. Now, they can generate a lot of traffic, and they can generate awareness, but it's neither a dog nor a cat. It's a dog with a cat's hindquarters. It's just, I don't like this. So just like I said, this is you create a campaign in Google, and this is the default. And this is Google trying to make sure they increase their quarterly earnings year over year. Engagement campaigns. These are those really interactive, sometimes annoying campaigns. Lightbox ads, rollover ads, the game ads where you can play a game on the ad. Sometimes they can take over your entire screen. I saw one engagement campaign that had like a Pac-Man eat the screen, and then after the ad went away, then you had your screen back. They can get you benefits without the click. They can really increase awareness. They can get the user really engaged before they leave the site where they came from. But these will only appear on the display network. Mobile app campaigns. Not a real big slice of the pie right now, but it is something that's probably getting bigger. And if you guys were here for Michael Becker's session, I'm sure he mentioned some of this, and I'm wishing I had been able to get up here for that. These ads will appear within apps on your iPhone or your Android phone. So a great example of this is I have the MLB at Bat app on my phone because I'm a unrepentant baseball fan and I just can't get enough of it. And so I'll be sitting there watching a game on my app, and I can actually watch the live feed, or I can watch a little picture of the batter and they show where the balls and the strikes go, and the batter's like he's looking out in center field. So if Rory was out in center field, I would have ads rotate. Instead of saying the DMA MC, I'd have an ad for Xbox, I'd have an ad for whatever was relevant, Sports Authority, rotating in the background of this app, and I could click on it. That's one example of it. MLB is very good at doing the engagement campaigns. These are trafficked through a company Google brought called AdMob. And you can target them to specific devices. You can target them to iPhones or Androids. You can target them to Galaxies, to Droids. You can really get it down very thin. You can target them to Verizon iPhone 5s. Really finely targeted. They don't have a lot of reach right now, but they can be pretty good. And these are part of the display to select network. Okay, so just to kind of start to wrap up the session here and put it all into a package with a bow. This session was designed to give you a good solid foundation on starting the process. Our second section is going to go much more into targeting. But if you don't understand the basic things of how keywords work, what the auction process is, how quality score influences your price and your position, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the targeting in the second session here. Just remember, when you write an ad, you need to lead with the benefits and lead with the needs. And when you're thinking about where that ad's going to go on the website, it has to go to a page that delivers on the promise you offered up with those benefit and need fulfilling statements. So those two combinations are going to make you really effective. If you're writing ads that go to a page that has nothing to do with the ad, you're going to lose lots of money and not make any. Remember, keywords are very important to the whole process. They're the base of your bidding, the base of your quality score, and it is hard to really move forward without understanding keywords and how they interact. Not all campaigns are right for all types of products, and not all campaigns are right for the entire buying cycle. You may have a engagement campaign that raises awareness versus a search campaign that actually closes the deal. Just really think through the implications of each campaign type. And remember, the campaigns, as you understand how they work and you start to get into targeting, will really help you to refine who your ads are appearing in front of. PPC still remains one of the most effective marketing vehicles out there, delivering high volume of really well qualified traffic without the downsides of long-term commitments. Very easy to control for cost, very easy to make efficient. But you need to really understand who you're targeting before you put pen to paper to write your ads and create your keywords. It's very dynamic. What works today may not work tomorrow. Part of that goes back to the 15% of all searches have been seen before, and the other part goes to more competitors come in, they try new things work, new things don't work. And last but not least, as you go forward in life, running an effective PPC campaign is a process. It's not a set and forget. You're always looking at where you can improve your ads. You're always looking to improve your keyword mix. You're always looking to change your bids. There's no such thing as having arrived. We have one client who we brought their cost per acquisition down from $250 to $100 in 3 weeks. And golly gee, that's just not good enough. Now we're having to improve upon that, get it more focused, get the right customer in, get rid of some of the poor quality customers. It's an ongoing process. We have some links to various white papers, and we also have copies of them right back there on the left. If you want to download them, when we email you the presentation, you can go ahead and download them or take the hard copy back there. White papers are really good distillation about different elements of SEO, PPC, link building, content marketing, and we use them as marketing, but we also use them because we enjoy educating people.